pioneering app that's to be prescribed to breastfeeding mums in some parts of the UK. You can appreciate if you wanted to breastfeed and you tried to breastfeed, it's not necessarily as straightforward as you might find. Hopefully it's very smooth and easy, and you and the baby become as one. That's the theory, and it is obviously the most natural thing to do, but it doesn't always come easy, and it can be really soul destroying and heartrending for a mum if it doesn't prove to be something that she can do, or certainly can't do without a lot of pain and misery. Well, LatchAid is the name of this pioneering app, LatchAid. It was created by a Cirencester-based entrepreneur after her own struggles with feeding her baby. The UK has one of the worst breastfeeding rates globally, with 90% of women stopping breastfeeding before they'd like to, according to NHS England. So they want to carry on, but they stop. The project's being funded by the Health Foundation, NHS England and NHS Improvement. And if it is successful, LatchAid hopes to see the app prescribed for free across the UK. Dr. Chen Mao Davies designed the app to support new mums as a result of her own experience, as you can hear. And now it's part of a pilot project then to assess whether it can be something that could increase the breastfeeding rates in the UK. And Dr. Davies joins me now. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Anna. It's so great to be at your show. Thank you.
Well, it's lovely to speak to you. Let's talk about you, really, because it's been a roller coaster time for you. So a new baby and a new app. How old is the baby now?
Well, I set up LatchAid when I was on my maternity leave with my second child. That was in 2018. So the baby now is a little girl. She is 3.5 years old now.
But you did this at the same time in your maternity leave. There was a lot of women saying, I could barely get out of my pyjamas during my maternity leave. I'm very impressed that you could focus on this. But it came for a good reason, and unfortunately through your own experience then. How was the breastfeeding experience for you at that time?
Okay, so I want to give a little bit background of where I come from. So before I set up LatchAid, I actually have a career in visual effects and feature films. I spent the past 10 years working on some blockbuster movies, and this includes Gravity and Blade Runner 2049, which won Oscar and BAFTA awards for Best Visual Effects. And that was my life until I had my first child, Oscar. And then my breastfeeding problem started in 2015 when I had Oscar. So the issue for me was, I think breastfeeding should be natural and easy. The baby should just latch on the breast, and that should be no problem at all. But personally, I struggled with positioning the baby properly on the breast. So before I leave hospital, I already have the cracked nipple. So when I get home, this developed into mastitis and thrush multiple times. And it was very, very painful. But as you know, Anna, a baby needs to be fed around the clock anytime. So when I struggle with latching the baby properly on the breast and with kind of the breast infection as well, that really destroyed my confidence, because before I had a baby, I think, breastfeeding was easy. If I set my mind on something, I can do it. And equally, the baby struggled to put on weight because, because the baby did not latch on properly, so the suckling was not very effective. So the baby's weight has dropped as well as my own problem. And eventually I developed anxiety, and then that got worse, and eventually I got postnatal depression.
See, I mean, when you say it like that, you had this extraordinary career, this amazing talent. You were at the top of your game, Oscar winning, BAFTA winning, and then you think, okay, this is the most natural thing in the world. I'm going to nail this. This is fine. This is easy. This is what we do. We're able to breastfeed. We breastfeed. But I think there'll be a lot of women listening, a lot of mums listening, who will so understand what you're saying there and where you're coming from, because you turn it inside, don't you? You internalise it. You think, okay, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do it? And that can hit at your confidence very quickly as a new mum.
Yeah, absolutely. I think many women give up breastfeeding before you want to, and 90% women give up breastfeeding because of the pain, health issues, feeling of isolation and depression, and that lack of support when they need it. So for many of these women, they still regret many years after, and they feel like themselves are a failure. But I think what we need to provide to women is this 24/7 digital and innovative support to make sure that women like myself will not suffer from breast infection. They will learn breastfeeding before they even had a baby. And when they get into any issues, they will have that 24/7 around the clock credible support so that they can continue their breastfeeding journey and, really enjoy this bonding experience with their baby and kind of benefit from it.
So how does the app work then, Chen?
So LatchAid app has some really great USPs. So firstly, it's using the cutting edge CGI technology to help women learn breastfeeding skills intuitively from 3D avatars. So based on my film experience, we developed some really high quality 3D mother model and baby model, and then use them to demonstrate to women how to achieve that deep latch in different breastfeeding positions, such as cross cradle hold, rugby hold, sideline hold, laid back hold, depending on what you prefer. And then we use the anatomical view to help you look through the baby's cheek to see what exactly is happening inside the baby's mouth. So you can see where the mother's nipple is pointing to and how the suckling works to achieve that really deep latch so that the mother will avoid any pain and issues and the baby get as much milk as possible. And you can tweak the camera using your fingers to turn it 360 degrees or use preset cameras to even see this from the mother's point of view. And this vicarious experience is very, very important for you to learn breastfeeding, because this is a skill that needs to be mastered and need to be kind of practiced. Another aspect of the app is our artificial intelligence powered virtual companion. So this is using the cutting edge neural network technology and our team of lactation consultants to train a virtual brain like lactation consultants to answer questions 24/7. So if a woman has any kind of infant feeding, infant care, maternal health, pregnancy related questions, they can just ask our AI powered chatbot. And we have developed this neural network in the past 12 months and trained with 1,000 women around the world, so that now it can triage around 70 to 80% of questions and give accurate answers. And in certain cases, when women need one-to-one support, our AI will connect the mother to a real-life expert to have that one-to-one support through messages in the app. And this proved to be really effective, especially helping women 2:00 in the morning or during the weekends of between kind of house visitor meetings. And the last USP is our virtual breastfeeding support groups. Imagine this works like a WhatsApp group. Circles of moms talk to each other in themed support groups to share their pain, share their gain. And when they're struggling in the middle of the night, they know they are not alone. Someone else is out there and they can support and encourage each other.
And that is so true, because there's many a breastfeeding mum who feels like, the night shift is the loneliest time in the world if things aren't going so well. Stay there if you will. We're speaking more then to Dr. Chen Mao Davies, based in Cirencester, and she has created this pioneering app using her extraordinary skills as computer graphics and animation in big films. I mean, blockbuster films. She's Oscar and BAFTA winning, but turned her attention then to how can we do an app that will be in every way helpful to women to help them with their breastfeeding. It's called LatchAid, and we'll speak some more about it shortly. She has got this extraordinary career. She's absolutely at the top of her game as an Oscar and BAFTA winning expert in computer graphics and animation, and she's worked on top blockbusters. But ironically, it was when she was really struggling with breastfeeding her new baby that she thought, you know what, we need something that can support new mums in a very different way. And through that, she created what's now an award-winning breastfeeding and mum support app. It's actually piloting with the NHS, such as is the positive results of it. It has 3D visual learning, and that's really clever because even when you're trying to make things work, you can use your phone to see, okay, is the angle wrong? Is, is the baby need to move? Do I need to move? And also it's got real life experts that you can contact in the middle of the night, or peer support networks, because sometimes just hearing somebody else going, oh, I understand that happened to me too, but have you tried this? Have you tried that? A bit of support can go a long way. So I'm speaking then to Dr. Davies to find out more about it. And what sort of feedback have you got then from breastfeeding mums that have been trying out the app then, Chen?
Well, we have got some really great feedback. So back in February, we have run a beta study, and this is with moms around the world. Obviously, we just started the pilot last month, so we haven't got enough results to share. But from the beta study, over 70% of breastfeeding mothers said that LatchAid helped them to improve their breastfeeding confidence and skills in just 4 weeks, and over 90% of breastfeeding mothers and healthcare professionals think that the information and support from LatchAid is reliable, evidence-based, and whenever it's there, and the support is there whenever they need it. And one thing that is very important for me personally is over 90% of users said LatchAid really respect their feeding choices, because this is what we are there for. We are trying to support women breastfeed, can't be feed, or in any way they like to feed their baby, but we just want to give them the support when they need it. And we try to be non-judgmental. We want our app and our community to be as friendly, as empathetic as possible. So it's like a village for women to help each other and for women to receive that 24/7 digital support.
Love that, a village supporting women. Well, the project is now, as I say, being trialled, piloted for free in some counties, and Gloucestershire is one of those pilot counties. So it's a sense of giving via the funding of the NHS or whatever, a chance to really sort of boost the message of LatchAid and get women to be able to try it out and see if it works for them. It's obviously very promising results, and for all the facts and figures, each one of those is a mum, like you, and I imagine that's the bottom line, isn't it? These are real people with real struggles and real successes, hopefully too.
Absolutely, and just to add to kind of the NHS pilot, we are actually running the pilot across the country. So except my home county, Gloucestershire, we're also running the pilot in Wiltshire, Swindon, Bath. Up north, we are running the pilot at Lancashire and South Cumbria, and down south we're running the pilot with South Devon and Torbay. So in the next 4 months, we are piloting the app with 5,000 new mums. So 5,000 new mums will be prescribed LatchAid at their antenatal checkups or postnatal appointments with their midwives and health visitors. So hopefully we will have enough data from this pilot to demonstrate our health economic benefit to these women and really support them during their breastfeeding and new motherhood journeys.
Who would ever have thought that your extraordinary career would also lead you to helping loads of potentially struggling mums? Isn't it a funny world, don't you think, when you can see, you never thought these two would come together, but they've come together so perfectly? Absolutely,
Anna. So in the past, I always loved working on the movies, and I want to be a small part of the Hollywood industry. But now my dream has changed. My dream is to change the landscape of public health. And I want to use innovation to help women like me. And I want to change people's lives. And I want to help people to give their child the best start in life, increasing that life expectancy. Because one element that is very important here is the health inequality. Because actually, the women who breastfeed the most are mostly the middle class and very educated women, and women who come from more deprived areas and lower socioeconomic kind of background actually breastfeed less because of lack of information and support. And this is something I'm very passionate to change. I want all women everywhere to benefit from breastfeeding and to give their child the best start in life.
Well, I can hear the passion in your voice. It's lovely to speak to you. It'd be interesting to sort of have an update, perhaps, after the end of all of that funded research comes to see, you know, how things are progressing. But thank you so much for taking some time out for us. Dr. Chen Mao Davies, then in Cirencester, going from big blockbuster movies that she's been involved with, not just involved, but Oscar and BAFTA winning, and then using that to address her own experience of breastfeeding and trying to help, and indeed seemingly successing, helping women with their own experiences. It's a clever app, LatchAid it's called, LatchAid, LatchAid, and it's already there. I just looked it up. There it is on the App Store, and you can have a look at it and see what you think too, whether it could be useful to you or to somebody that you know. It's only just got out there, but it's already had 5-star ratings from every single person who's used it, according to this. So some very good signs to come.